Here we go. No more screwing around because it's time for the NBA playoffs once again. For the best of the best teams, their season and a championship is on the line. And each matchup could be a great one. We're here to predict the first round and break it down. First of all, I want to just say that this year's predictions look like they're going to be way harder than last year. And I know I'm sorry I got this video out to you late, but I blame the play-ins because they ended so late last night. And a guy's got to sleep and edit and all that shit. But anyways, here we go. We start off with the overall number 1 seed in the Eastern Conference versus the number 8 seed Boston Celtics versus the Miami Heat. The Miami Heat and the Celtics are renewing their rivalry, and everyone cannot wait for that. These are some insane series numbers, as Boston is a minus 8,000 to win the series. If you took Miami to win the series, you would get a plus 1,800. Wow. The very, very unfortunate thing about this is there is no Jimmy Butler in this series. What was already going to be a monumental task for the Miami Heat just got even harder. The Heat, very reminiscent of last year, lost their first play-in game and then won the second one to secure the 8th seed. Boston is fully healthy and fully loaded. The Celtics did sweep them in the regular season. Not that that matters that much, but it is something to look at. I mean, everyone from Miami has to be much better. Tyler Hero cannot have a slump of a night the entire time, and they're going to need Duncan Robinson and Kevin Love to be a lot better too, not to mention Hawkins. I mean, you know, as much as I love watching the Miami Heat in the playoffs, without Jimmy Butler, man, and even with Jimmy Butler, I don't think they were going to do it this year. It's just too much to ask 2 years in a row. I think Miami is going to win a game or two at home. They've always been great at home, but I can't see this series going more than 6 games, and probably 5. 5 is what I'm going to say, 6 at the most. Moving on to the 4-5 matchup in the East, and that is the Cavs at the 4 taking on the Orlando Magic at the 5. Taking the Cavs to win the series would be a minus 210, and if you took the Orlando Magic, you're at a plus 168. These odds are on FanDuel, by the way. For the last couple of months in the East, the 4 through the 8 seed could have been interchangeable. Any of those could have been mixed up, and it did flip-flop around. But the Magic had actually been playing better than the Cavs as of late. It's just the Cavs didn't have Donovan Mitchell, so take that for what you will. The teams both split with each other in the regular season. Cavs winning, 1 at home, 1 on the road, and same with Orlando. I think for Orlando to win, they can't have any offensive woes. Franz and Banchero are going to have to play lights out, and they're going to have to get help from Suggs, Isaac, Mo Wagner, Gary Harris. These guys are going to have to come up big for them on defense, and they usually do. Last year, I got 1 first-round playoff series wrong. Just 1, and it was the Cavs against the Knicks. I was wrong in this one, and I feel like I'm about to make the same mistake again. I actually think if the Magic had the 4 seed, I think Magic would move on. I think this is going to be a hell of a series. Still, though, I'm probably going to make the same dumbass mistake. I'm going to take the Cavs in 7. Although I do think the Magic are about a year away from you don't want to ever play them again. But they're just not quite there yet. Donovan Mitchell should be spectacular against them, and I also love Darius Garland. Garland is going to be nice in these playoffs. Now we move on to the 3-6, and this is probably the trickiest matchup of the East, either that or the 2-7. This one's tricky, though. At the beginning of the year, okay, we'll start with the 3 seed Milwaukee Bucks are playing the 6 seed Indiana Pacers, and this is what we all wanted to see, right? Because of the whole fiasco with Giannis's ball after he scored at 60 points, I believe it was, in Indy, and with the Pacers beating them in the in-season tournament. It has now changed over to the Pacers being favored in the series because Giannis, we don't know his status. He's probably going to miss 1, and he might miss 2. And that's the first 2 games in Milwaukee, which are very important. If Indiana comes away with one of those, yeah, the Pacers have the full advantage. Pacers have been pretty good against the Bucks too. This has been their weakness the whole time. No doubt that the Bucks are hearing this and they're going to want to shut everybody up. My initial thoughts were the Pacers were going to win this. Tyrese Halliburton is going to be spectacular. Not that Dame, I mean, they've got Dame over there. He's capable of taking over in the playoffs, and I think that's something that we're kind of forgetting about. We're focusing almost too much on Giannis being out for a game or two. Another thing of note here is that the big three in Milwaukee, Middleton, Lillard, and Giannis, had only played together for like 8 games this year. Also, the fact that the rest of the world is on the Pacers makes me scared that the Bucks are just going to beat them down and Lillard's going to go absolutely bananas. But I took the Pacers on my bracket officially, so I'm going to stick with it because we just don't know about Giannis. And even with Giannis, it's going to be a tough series for them. Moving on to the last playoff matchup in the East, we got the 2-seeded New York Knicks, who've had a phenomenal season, against the number 7 seed Philadelphia 76ers. I'm sorry, Knicks, that blows. You get the 2 seed and you have to play against the Sixers, who are definitely not a 7 seed. Joel Embiid is back, and he's not quite himself yet. Maybe he will be during this series. It might take a game or so. Taking the Knicks to win the series is a -144, and taking Philly is a +118, so the Knicks are still favored. You got Hartenstein, you got a few bodies to go at Embiid, but man, the talent level is just a crazy difference in this matchup. And I also think Oubre is going to be big in this matchup as well. I like what the New York Knicks have. I love DiVincenzo, how he's come on. Josh Hart plays hard every night, and is very versatile. He can do a lot of different things. And you have to give a lot of love to McBride as well. So the pieces are there, but without Julius Randle, I mean, this was going to be a hard series anyway. This was really a second-round matchup or an Eastern Conference Finals matchup. It should have been or would have been. But Philly's working with Maxey and Oubre and Harris. Paul Reed has filled in nice for Embiid. I'm going with the 76ers to win this series. I think this is going to go 6 or 7, but I like Philly to steal one in the first 2 games. This is taking nothing away from what the New York Knicks did in the season, but I just don't like the matchup. Whew! What an exciting first round this is going to be. That's going to do it for the Eastern Conference predictions. Like and subscribe to stay tuned to all of the playoff news and recaps and predictions, whatnot that's going on this year. We also cover other sports like football as well. And also look out for the Western Conference first round predictions. They're headed your way soon. But anyways, that's going to do it. You'll catch me in the next one.